late tonight. Let's stand for the pledge, please. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming. I think because our previous meeting ran over, we're going to skip both public forums tonight so we can get this thing done. Okay, maybe we'll have one. First is we need approval of the additions to the agenda. We've got some additional bills to pay. We've got Cindy from there, I think Cindy from one of the Cross Lakers representatives are going to come up and talk to us about the roundup for the intersection improvement. Council recognition, memo dated from City Clerk, retroactive bills, approval of bills for the payment in January, I believe. Shar, I don't know where she went, but. And discussion regarding response to Casper construction. So can we have a motion to approve those?
Could I add a discussion on fire chief salary and the counter here? I want to know when the construction will take place.
Okay.
I move to approve those additions.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Shari, I believe you got to take roll call.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zebert-Vols. Yes. Motion carries.
Okay, next that's not on the agenda is our Chief Lee would like to introduce a new member of our community. Is that your wife with you?
Fiance and sister, yes.
I think you should maybe bring her up too with you.
Yeah. Put him on the spot. I like it.
Absolutely.
He was talking to his fiance when he said sweetheart.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure I'm not his sister. Anyway. I'm off the drugs now, by the way. Just, no, it's just ibuprofen.
There might be a
Tylenol.
test waiting for you out in the foyer.
All right. Anyway, last month, well, actually in October, wasn't it? You were hired. And Pat Martin here was hired as a part-time officer with the potential to fill the full-time position that we have pending right now. Pat is originally from
Mora, Minnesota.
Mora, that's right. Hockey player. He was a Marine, is a Marine veteran, combat tour in Yemen.
Come and get the keys from my fish shack, Pat. Here.
And he came to us from Deerwood, part-time officer came to us, so I'd like to introduce Pat Martin. That's it. Welcome.
Well,
We'll talk
welcome,
about it
Pat.
later.
Nice to formally meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was wondering who you were the other night when I bumped in down in the front of one of these things. I didn't recognize him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
They got that Movember thing going on.
Yeah.
Well, good and welcome, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
bet. Okay, next we have public forum. Action may or may not be taken on any issue raised. If council requires more information or time for consideration, the issue will be placed on the agenda of the next regular council meeting. Speaker must state their name and address. Has anybody got anything?
No.
No? Nobody's moving? We'll close public forum. Next, the consent calendar. All the items here listed are considered to be routine by the city council will be acted on by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a citizen or council member so requests. Everybody get a chance to look at it?
I'd like to pull the additional bills for approval and then I don't know which one, the revenue report or the expenditure report. I'll pull them both, just in case.
I'm sorry, Marcia, what was that last one?
The monthly revenue report and the monthly expenditure report.
What number was that?
Oh, 3 and 4 and 21.
Okay. Other than that, are we good? Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Sorry, Shar.
Dave Nevin,
Yes.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Siebert Vols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Motion approved. Let's address these ones you wanted to pull right away, huh?
Okay, my question on the, I didn't know if I should pull the revenue or the expenditure, but the transfer to the sewer fund, that 306,000, do I have to make a motion for that, or what do you do?
Are you on C3, Marcia?
Yeah, page 8.
Okay, I would
We had
recommend,
$564,077 that we were,
I would recommend you make a motion for it.
okay, I'll make a motion that we transfer $306,826.61. It was a question, but I'll make that motion.
Second?
Okay, any other discussion on it? Oh, sorry, Shar.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Siebert Vols.
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the reason I pulled the additional bills is because we just got them tonight, and I don't really know what this one is and didn't have a chance to ask. $33,000 for Grand Forks Fire Equipment.
Correct, and if you read through the description there, that is a reimbursement from Firehouse Subs Grant. So that is what,
I don't see reimbursement on my sheet.
well, it's Firehouse Subs Grant. That is what they're purchasing with that money.
Oh, down below. Okay, I'm sorry. I just looked at that line.
Okay.
So it's a reimbursement. Okay. All right, that answers my question.
Okay, and C4, you didn't have anything for that? You said C3 and C4?
Because I didn't know if I should do the revenue or the expenditure part of it.
So you're
Yeah,
good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
So can we go ahead and then approve those 3 items as well?
A motion to approve.
All 3 items. I move to approve C3, C4, and C21.
Second.
Okay, sure.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Siebert Vols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes. Okay, Aaron, what, did you want to do yours right now, too?
It doesn't matter. I've asked Mike a couple of questions on pay for fire chief, and I found out that he has not had an increase in 2-3 years to his contract, and he's the last person that we would have to have conversation on. He's a non-union person, so it's something that council can discuss and decide to do something with or not. And I'd like to have a discussion on it because he does put in more than his 20 hours a week. We pay him for 20 hours a week. He puts in more than 20 hours a week.
Okay.
So I'm asking for discussion on it.
What's he get paid? Is it an hourly rate? Hourly rate, Mike?
He gets paid $1,200 a month, comes to $14,400 a year. And then Chip also gets paid his hourly rate, just like the rest of the paid on-call fire staff do,
Just when they're on call or all the time?
just when they're on call. That's when they're
on
called in.
But so the 14,400 is for the 20 hours a week. Am I
That's for being the fire
understanding
chief and all the duties that go with it.
that? Okay. I mean, heck of a bargain.
Yeah, no, it is. So do you want to make a recommendation?
I don't know if I'm high or low, but how about 4,000 a year increase?
Oh, I thought you were going to say 4,000 a year.
Well, 14,000 is, you take that for 20 hours.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Yeah.
I think the chief is woefully underpaid for what he does.
And I don't know where to take it to, John. That was a suggestion.
Okay, and that was a motion, so we got a motion of.
No.
No,
I
it
didn't
wasn't,
make a
just a
motion.
discussion,
I
okay.
made a statement for discussion.
John, what are your thoughts?
Don't have a detailed information. I think I'd like some more information on what other fire chiefs are getting or what we should do, but I think we're having discussion is good. But I think it'd be nice to have some additional data on what would be a reasonable way to approach this.
I agree with John. We should table action and get some more information on it.
And I'm good with that. What
Yeah.
I wanted is I wanted the discussion started.
So I'm good with that too, and let's just not put it too far on the back burner. Let's discuss it sooner than later.
So if he works 20 hours a week, he gets about $14 an hour. That isn't enough.
Yeah.
That's why I went where I did. But I didn't know if that was high, low, or what.
Is that a fair, let's see, I mean, do we put it off to the next council, or do we try
I
to
would say
take
the
care of it?
January meeting, we should have it on and have the data, Mike, have all the information available for us, and then we'll make a decision.
Okay, we can work together to come up with,
I'm
you and I
sorry.
can work together to come up with a number.
Thank you. Yeah, work with Chip. That's fine. I'm good with that.
Yep, we can do that.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yep. So
Okay, and then
there's no vote on that.
No motion. We'll just
No, I just want to know, Pat, when are you doing the
Jackson
colors?
and Sandy
My
something
back
to look
kills me.
forward to.
I'll have to get back to you when it's ordered.
Everything's ordered.
Yeah. So it's just.
You're
a
making
matter of when
progress.
we, You know, it's,
I'm
finally
happy.
you're on the list then.
Oh, my back is already killing me tonight, so,
All right.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, next is the mayor and council members' report. First is a resolution accepting donations. We have got donations from the Cross Lake Firefighters Relief Association at $2,600. Intended purpose is personnel single gas detectors. Personnel, is that for personal?
Yeah.
For people, Chip, public, or for you guys? Oh, that's your equipment, yeah, okay. Next, Cross Lake Firefighters Relief, $1,715.47, a chainsaw for ladder one. An anonymous donation of $200 for the Park and Rec. And Pell Foundation, $138.12 for the Halloween party. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrews, second Herzig. Go ahead.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
Okay, next we got the Cross Lakers. Is somebody from the Cross Lakers here? Jonathan, fabulous. I'll just let you take it.
Okay. I'll just start with, I'll put that there, you don't need to have it on right now, but I'm here tonight as a representative of the Cross Lakers. The Cross Lakers have been at the helm of many studies and discussions since its origination in 2017. With public input and guidance from the Minnesota Design Team, we adopted 5 guiding principles which have also been adopted into the Cross Lake City Comprehensive Plan. Those guiding principles are enhance the unique ecology of Cross Lake, create vibrant places that connect people to nature, establish better balance of facilities for driving, biking, boating, and walking, provide a diverse balance of housing, business, and park amenities, and celebrate and preserve Cross Lake's heritage. In a recent letter from the Minnesota Design Team that I believe all of you have received, they recommended that we begin implementation of a small area plan and subsequent integration infrastructure plan for the central downtown commercial area of Cross Lake. A small area plan would set in place the overall vision for a core district and corridor. This study area extent could include land use, building type visions, sidewalks, streets, and roadways with the comp plan's downtown commercial district and stretch from bridge to bridge on County Road 66. The subsequent integration infrastructure plan for the same area would include polarization or polarized layers of projects such as mobility, street design, connectivity. At the Army Corps of Engineers, the Loon Center and site planning and larger connections and integration. It involves district stormwater strategy, district parking strategy, public spaces, both new and existing, landscape design. These projects could be public, private, or both, but a plan needs to be in place or their importance might be lost. At a recent public meeting on November 29th of this year, engineers presented the initial design ideas for the intersection project at County Roads 66 and 3. What was presented focused on the vehicular traffic and only at that intersection. What we didn't hear at that meeting was any recommendations or ideas to improve safety in the remainder of the project area as identified in the project overview that extends from Pioneer Trail to Bald Eagle Trail, which if we were looking at this, we're focusing on this area, and yet the project actually starts basically at the bridge and carries all the way up to Bald Eagle Trail and goes all the way over to Pioneer Trail to the east there. The Cross Lakers are respectfully requesting that the city direct the project engineers to look at this project and the city as a whole and not just a single intersection. Basically, it's designed the small area plan and integrated infrastructure plan. Engineers are problem solvers. Their job is to logically research and design the best for a situation or for a set of parameters. The best design of any road is to move the vehicular traffic in the most efficient manner. When an intersection of roads occurs, the best design is to move the greatest number of vehicles through that intersection in the least amount of time in the safest way. Bolton Mink engineers were hired to do this project because of their expertise, and I'm sure their desire is to design the best project possible. The Cross Lakers' desire is to accomplish this also, but we don't want the design to miss or ignore a major design parameter that could change the project for the better. The corridor is a main thoroughfare for motor vehicle, ATV, snowmobile, bicycle, and walking traffic in Cross Lake, serving our residents, visitors, commercial business activities. And over a third of this project funding is designated for the pedestrian traffic, the sidewalk on the east side of 66. It's too important not to design it in conjunction with the interchange. At the October 10th Cross Lake Council meeting, I presented some design ideas that could be implemented into the sidewalk portion of this project. The council made and passed a motion 10R-05-22, having to do with what's considered parking along that road. The passing of this motion will help implement some of these ideas. And as the Cross Lakers, we're just requesting that the City Council continue in this direction of being open to outside ideas and also to look at this project and the city as a whole and direct the project engineers to do the same. We'd like to work together to design the best project for this city and all involved. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So what I've heard on the street, and Tim and Phil, you've heard it, and all the rest of us has too, is the pedestrian traffic is everybody's big concern. Sure, come on up, Pat, you bet.
Pat Netco, 36084 County Road 66. The Cross Lakers have been working on this thought of pedestrian safety and crosswalks and sidewalks for years. And I would respectfully request that Jonathan Grothy be put on the project management team. There's not a representative of the Cross Lakers on that team. The Cross Lakers represents everybody who lives in Cross Lake, and we hear a lot of things. We meet a lot. We met this morning, we met last week. talking about this because this is a very important project. So I would respectfully request that Jonathan Grothe be put on that project management team.
Thank you, Pat. I'll make a motion that we put Jonathan on the PMT team. Do I have a
I
second?
second it.
John seconds it. Any other discussion on that?
Not a city committee, do we have a right to?
I think we can request it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm good.
Okay, Shar?
So can I change the motion to request the county
Yeah.
to add him? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Marcia Ziebert Bowles,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin,
Yes.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Welcome, Jonathan. Well, how much more discussion do we want to have on that now? Just wait till the next meeting?
No.
Okay. Okay, Cindy? Oh, go ahead, Tim, please.
The next meeting is 14th, right, Bill? Tomorrow.
13th.
Tomorrow at 9.
Tomorrow morning at 9 in this room. John?
Okay, Jonathan, you're going to have to take my place. I forgot about that. I got an errand I can't get out of, so. Okay. Next, Cindy?
Good evening. I just want to say that I am a Cross Laker as well, and Jonathan has some great ideas on the sidewalk improvements, so thank you. I am here to talk about Winterfest. It's coming up February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of 2023, which is just around the corner. I'm modeling the 2023 sweatshirt available for sale at Moonlight Bay and Lake Country Crafts and Cones. The proceeds from the sale of the shirt help fund the event, the fireworks, and everything associated with that. We'll have beer koozies and wristbands on sale beginning the weekend before Winterfest, so January 27th or thereabout, and those items are the public, people buy and they get good deals on Coors Light Beer, one of our major sponsors, and then other retail and service industries have deals and discounts from their businesses that weekend as well. Thursday, February 2nd, we'll have our 3-day treasure hunt begins. We drop the first clue Thursday morning. It's been quite a popular event. We do that in all of the major events that the chamber organizes. Last we did was Cross Lake Days, and the prize basket that the people that found the chili pepper for Cross Lake Days was valued at over $3,200. So the business community does a very, 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 very nice job donating goods, apparel, decor, gift cards, and so forth to the winner of that 3-day hunt. And there's people from all over the state that come into Cross Lake to do that little treasure hunt. It's very, very popular.
Yeah.
Friday is the day that we do the Celebrate Winterfest Outdoor Family Fun at the Cross Lake Community Center. TJ has been a part of all the planning on that. So he's promised us that the ice rink will be good and frozen by then. The Snow Mountain, of course, is a big hit with the kids. We'll have horse-drawn wagon rides, and nice warm bonfires, hot cocoa and s'mores. The Powell Foundation will be serving complimentary chili. And then North Star Fireworks will be at 9 o'clock. I believe there may be a permit in your packet tonight regarding that. Then Saturday, February 4th, we have the Fireman's Pancake Breakfast. Will be at the Cross Lake Lutheran Church. There's bingo, there's live music, there's an arts and craft fair, there's meat raffles, there's radar runs on the lake. There's activities for kids, families, all the businesses and throughout Cross Lake do a nice job of offering events and activities for families and folks of all ages. Of course, we'll have the Soup Fest, that starts at noon. So I'm here this evening, I need a couple of things from you, and I do need motions on these. One is for the chamber to facilitate a Soup Fest in the city of Cross Lake on Saturday, February 4th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And then the second is the permission to have the fireworks display at the Cross Lake Community Center on Friday, February 3rd, and that shoots at about 9 PM.
Dave Nevin. Oh,
So moved?
Second.
You're getting excited over there. We got a motion and a
It's great
second. Okay,
fireworks.
now go. Here's your cue. Yes.
Getting late.
No, they did.
same two. Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp. John Andrews.
Yes.
Marcia Zeber-Vols.
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, next, folks, we just had an election this fall, and we're losing a couple of our council people that have been very dedicated here. I got a couple plaques I want to read. In recognition of your service and commitment to the city of Cross Lake, Dave Schrupp, we want to thank you for all you have done to improve the safety, welfare, and people's lives in the community. You have served on the city council 8 years. You served as a planning and zoning commissioner for 4 years. You served as liaison to the Public Works Commission for 6 years. You served on the EDA for 4 years. You served on the Special Sales Tax Committee and helped submit application to state for approval. In addition to all of this work, you made time to be a friend to staff, residents, and the city. We want to thank you for your dedicated service to the city of Cross Lake. What are you going to do with all your time, Dave?
Pickleball, golf, I don't know.
I want to
Thank you, yeah, no. Thank you, thank you.
And Mr. Andrews is moving on to bigger and better things. In recognition of your service and commitment to the city of Cross Lake, John Andrews, we want to thank you for all you have done to improve the safety, welfare, and people's lives in the community. You have served on the city council 4 years. You've served as liaison to the Park and Rec Library Commission for 2. You served on the EDA for 4 years. You participated in the Water Quality Group for years to protect our endangered waters. You participated in the local sales tax effort, and you are a Cross Laker to keep involved in the community and business to help guide the city toward the future. You're a true friend of the city, John. We thank you for your dedicated service.
Thank you much.
This plaque will be in your mailbox, John.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike?
All right, thank you. It's time to start getting ready for our annual audit. And if you remember in prior years, I've brought forth to you about a 17, 18-page engagement letter describing what our audit team is planning to do. What the audit profession does is they've followed a little bit along with the business world where they've said, we're going to break this up into 2 parts. The first part is what's called a master service agreement, which describes the scope of professional services and the responsibilities of our consultant, the auditor, and their expectation of us. In prior years, this was included within the text of the engagement letter. This year, it's broken out into 2 pieces. They're essentially doing the same service, providing us with the same services as they have in the past. But it's just broken out into 2 parts. And these kind of go hand in hand. And the one thing everyone wants to know is what is it going to cost to have our audit done this year? They're looking at a 5% adjustment over last year. And that is listed on item 2 under fees. And it should approximate $29,400, and that includes the technology adjustment and a fee adjustment from last year. So what I'm asking for the council to approve in 2 separate motions is 1, the master service agreement, and number 2, the audit service, scope of services for the upcoming audit. And should this be approved tonight, they will be ready to start work on March 6th.
I'll make a motion, we approve the master services agreement with Clifton Larson Allen.
Second.
I second it.
Okay, Shar?
Dave Schrupp,
Yes?
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zeber-Vols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And we'll need a similar motion for item number 2 for the statement of work for audit services.
I'll make a motion that we approve the statement of work agreement with Clifton Larson Ellen.
Second.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles.
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Item E3 is a resolution establishing polling places, and I'll just go ahead and read it. Whereas per Minnesota State Statute 204B.116 Subdivision 1, the governing body of each municipality must designate by ordinance or resolution a polling place by December 31st of each year. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Cross Lake City Council that the polling place for all elections for the city of Cross Lake is Cross Lake City Hall, 13888 Daggett Bay Road, Cross Lake, Minnesota, 56442, adopted by the council this 12th day of December 2022. We need a motion and a
Okay, we
second.
need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles.
Yes.
Motion carries.
If I could ask a question, timing-wise and people standing around waiting to get in, did we have any issues or problems?
At the last election? No, none.
Thank you.
Are we ready for item 4? Item 4 is a resolution to approve waste hauler licenses for 2023 by ordinance. Do you want me to read the whole thing, Char? We're basically approving the waste hauler licenses for the 2023 license for the following firms: Waste Partners Inc., Pequot Lake Sanitation Ltd., and Waste Management of Minnesota Inc.
So move we approve the waste haulers licenses for 2023 for these 3 businesses.
Second.
Dave Nevin,
Yes.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, item 5 is a memo from Char Nelson, City Clerk, requesting approval of liquor license request. The city has received a request for an on-sale liquor license from Ox Lake Tavern LLC, which has purchased the Bourbon Room property. All appropriate Minnesota Department of Public Safety, alcohol and gambling enforcement documents, and City of Cross Lake documents have been submitted to the city, as well as a prorated check for license fees for the period December 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. They hope to be open by the end of December. The city staff is in the process of conducting a background investigation and financial investigation as required under the city ordinance as provided for under Minnesota Statute 340A.412 Subdivision 2. If you approve the liquor license request from Ox Lake Tavern LLC, a motion is required approving the liquor license contingent upon satisfactory findings of the investigations. Once all information is collected, the documents will be forwarded to alcohol enforcement for final approval. Council action, motion with contingency is noted above.
And I could update that. Those all did come back clear. So
Good.
no contingency on the motion if you move forward with it.
I move to approve the liquor license request and transfer.
I second.
Okay, Char, how come the Bourbon Room just didn't go along with it? Is because it's a change in name?
Well, Andy sold it,
Yeah.
the whole thing. And Andy had other businesses, I believe, named the Bourbon Room, like down in Elk River or something.
We're not issuing
That
a
was
new license,
his
though.
business name. No, you can't transfer a license.
Oh, okay. Okay, motion and a second, go ahead.
All right. Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zeber Bols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 6 is a memo dated December 12th, 2022 from the city clerk, retroactive approval of bills for payment. Approval is requested to allow payment of all invoices received between December 12th and December 31st with retroactive council approval. In order to pay for products and services obtained in 2022 with 2022 budgeted funds, it is necessary to continue paying bills through year end. A listing of all bills paid during this time will be given to the council for approval at the first council meeting in January. We want to keep the lights on and the internet working.
I'll make a motion, we approve the requested retroactive approval of bills for payment.
I second it.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zeber Bols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, commission reports, huh? You're all done? TJ?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 3 items for you tonight. The first item is park dedication consideration. The Park Commission met on October 26th, in which they discussed the McGrath subdivision. In that meeting, the consensus and the recommendation was to accept cash in lieu of land for that subdivision. So we'd be looking at collecting $3,000 in park dedication.
Okay, a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the park dedication McGrath subdivision in the amount of $3,000 that was recommended by the Park and Rec.
I'll second it.
Marcia Zeber Bols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
John Andrews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 2, you'll see my fee schedule here with a few changes for 2023. I put big stars by them so you can see them. Bocce ball we are removing obviously because we turn those into cornhole boards. You will see cornhole is taken off as well. We've started a campaign. Instead of having patrons and guests purchase the bags, we're going to offer them for free with collateral just to kickstart that part of the park, that amenity, to help garner more interest and more publicity for those cornhole boards. We have added a pickleball 10-day punch card for $10 or $30, excuse me. The weight room daily pass we're proposing to increase from $6 to $8. And then, as you previously approved, copying services back in the library, we're just going to add that back to the fee schedule. So those are the only changes that we're proposing. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
Is 25 cents a page what we approved?
Correct, yep. That's what we previously had as well for a per copy page.
Okay.
I move to approve the Park and Recreation fee schedule for 2023.
I'll second it.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zeber Bols.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Third item here is a memo, and I'll just read it. To ensure the Parks Department is going the right direction regarding future hockey rink improvements, it is my recommendation that a hockey rink committee be established. I've already been contacted by people who would be interested in joining the committee. That would be some members from the Parks Commission, a couple from the PAL Foundation, and some others. This committee would gather information and eventually make a recommendation to council with an improvement plan. So my goal with this committee was to get feedback from the community, interested parties, compile that, and help steer us in the right direction and come back to this board for a recommendation.
Is this for an enclosed facility?
This is for a
Whatever.
hockey rink, and that's very broad at this point, and that's the purpose of setting up this committee, to kind of hone in on what we want to do over there with our hockey rink. What we have right now currently, let's be honest, it's on its last leg. It was intended to be put there and intended to only serve us for 3-4 years, to buy us some time to help start thinking about this, get some usage numbers out there, and come up with a plan. So we're currently at that time where we need to come up with a plan. We don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know any numbers right now, any size. We don't know anything concrete yet. So that's the purpose of this committee, is to help us hone in on a plan.
You're going to do the money side too?
Absolutely.
Like you usually do?
That's
There
my
you go.
job.
All right.
I got to answer the questions from you.
I'll make a motion to approve his request to create a hockey rink committee.
I'll
I second it.
Mr. Chang.
I got you. Dave Nevin,
Yes.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes?
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zebert-Bols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you.
Eric, you're up. Chief Lee, you're up. And you kind of look like Festus coming down the aisle there.
I'm going to leave that one alone. All right.
Sorry.
All right, just a couple of things here. You met Officer Martin tonight. I'd like to take him from part-time status and move him to full-time status. Starting at step 1 on the union contract for 2022. And then what I didn't put in there is move him after completion of his probationary period, satisfactory evaluation, move him to step 3.
When will the probation, does that start from now?
6 months, so it'd be in the end of, probation would start today if you,
Yeah.
and it would go 6 months, and then we'd be taking a look at evaluation and everything in June.
What does the union contract say? After 6-month probation? Moving them
The union
Up to-
contract, well, yeah, that doesn't really say anything, it just says a satisfactory evaluation.
Okay,
It doesn't talk about step increases.
okay.
I'm going with past practice right now.
Which is your prerogative to bump up?
Start them up at step 1,
Right. And
and
then you're
then
gonna,
after probation, move them to step 3.
I think we have to take them off, or you come and ask the council and take them
Right,
off
we'd-
of probation, and
we'd
at that,
remove 'em from
and at that
probationary
time,
status.
we can decide what step he goes to.
Okay?
I approve moving, make a motion to approve moving him to full-time status.
I'll second it.
Starting at step 1?
Yeah, step
Correct,
one.
Okay.
Unless you got a 0.
Dave Schrupp,
Yes?
John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zebert-Bols,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Eric.
Pat's going to be pretty ecstatic about that, so thank you.
Good.
Secondly, we have the Public Safety Committee minutes. And in that meeting last week, there were a couple recommendations to the council. I don't know how you want to go about doing that, Aaron. Bob's not here, obviously.
Yeah. I think the first part is pretty self-explanatory, where right now we're going to take a wait and see on the motorized vehicles,
Right,
the bicycles. They are creating some issues, and we're going to have to keep an eye on them because they travel up to 25 miles an hour. So they come skipping by you pretty quickly if you're somewhere. But right now, it's going to stay status quo. Fire department module, full-time, fire marshal discussion on current fire chief duties, time available. We went through an awful lot of stuff, educating and doing a lot of the stuff. The recommendation from the commission was form a committee which would include the public safety liaison, Kevin Lee, council liaison to the fire department, which is me, state fire division, fire safety specialist to take a look at it, Minnesota hire representative person from there, and members of the fire department and fire chief to look at the current fire department model and what best fits the needs of the community and public safety. That was approved, and so now it's here for your information as well. Is the council okay with the committee being formed as named here?
I'm interested in I'm interested in that committee.
You interested in being
Yeah.
part of it?
Yep.
Perfect. So I take it that's a motion that you're fully in favor of it.
Well, sure, Aaron. That'll be a motion that you can
Is
form a
everybody
committee.
all right? Because I think this is a
Yes,
consent
thank you,
issue,
thank
not
you
a
for
motion.
doing this, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Short rental discussion, I think we're going to get into that further with Pete here in a little bit, so I'm going to kind of hold up on that for now. Old business with speed limit signs, Eric is going to check on them. Plowing sidewalks, we've already approved that. Painting crosswalks in the spring, we should get a memo probably to you, Pat, what we're asking for on crosswalks, which is down by the school and some of those spots. New business was the 39-unit apartment complex and what that could look like for the police and fire and rescue as well. And roundabout, we had discussion there, and that became quite a spirited discussion. And they wanted very clearly that their recommendation from this commission, the Public Safety Commission, to the City Council is to support a single-lane roundabout at the junction of 3 and 66. Kurt Mowers, who is a retired highway patrol officer, was quite outspoken on the safety issues of it, the reduction in accidents numbers, and on the reduction of injuries and the severity of injuries and so forth. After 30-plus years with the highway patrol, he was pretty adamant about it.
Pretty adamant, and he was a member of the Brainerd Lakes area TZD and kind of a big push
Yep.
with the state patrol for towards zero death.
Yeah, he was very involved with that. The next part of it is there's training coming up for our public officials, and I'm going to ask for permission to attend the training on Module 1 is January 11th, Module 2 is February 8th, and this is in conjunction with emergency management. And being liaison to the fire department, I'm asking for permission to go to that training.
I just got to ask Aaron, why do you need permission?
Well, I don't, but I'd like to have it.
Yeah.
It's just a like thing, just,
Oh, do you?
no, I don't need it, it's just I would like to have it. I think it's
It's-
appropriate. for
It's
you to
good
know what I'm
information
doing.
on how Mike and Chip, in particular with the fire department, have to go through and figure out how
Yeah, no. I-
reimbursement and everything is, and it's good for all of you. It'd be good for Jackson.
Is there a
it'd be good
cost
for-
to it?
No.
I'm sure
No.
there is. No?
So
Nope,
if I
so-
decide to go, I don't have to come back here and ask for
Everyone-
permission?
Well, no, I'm just asking because I want people to know, that's all.
Everyone should go.
I'm just clarifying that.
International Association of Wetland, they went through some pretty significant training, and I would prefer Chip talked about that training versus me, because
Yep.
that was very specialized and very.
Could we just go back, though, and did you want to make some motions, like,
No, it's just, nobody's objecting, so I'm fine going to the,
General consensus.
just general consensus.
for all
That's
these items?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
I'll let you explain it, because it was quite a prestigious thing you guys got.
A few weeks ago, we had some visitors from, some fire chiefs from around the country. The International Association of Fire Chiefs, Wildland Urban Interface. Cross Lake Fire Department was selected as one of 2 fire departments in the country to participate in the Wildland Urban Interface Chiefs Guide Mentorship Pilot Program. So we had the chief from Austin Fire, Austin, Texas, chief from New Mexico, and a chief from Raleigh, North Carolina. So what they're doing is they help us develop a wildland program for planning, response, mitigation, and recovery. We'll work with the county, other fire departments in the county, and the emergency manager from the county to create this plan and the response, and working together if we ever have a big issue with the Wildland Urban Interface, similar to what Monaga had in 2012, or the Greenwood Fire up in northeast.
They came up here, Chip?
Yeah, they flew in, spent the whole day with me, and then I brought in Tim Holmes from Brainerd and a couple of the firefighters on the department, and we started working on how we're gonna do this and make a plan, and then they go back and take all the information that we gave them, and then we work together on implementing a plan with the emergency manager and other departments in the county. That's it.
I think it was a good thing.
Cool.
And this
Yeah.
this training, I suggest, I would really like to see all of you, so then you'd understand your roles and responsibilities. If we do have a major incident here, we know what goes on. And the new elected officials would be good. So,
Thanks, Chip.
Thank you.
I do have a question on you mentioned plow sidewalks. What are you
Oh, no,
thinking?
all we did is discuss that there was plowing sidewalks, and the council had already approved what was going to be.
The trails.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
no change to anything.
Okay.
Okay, I think, Peter, you're up. Chip, you got something else?
was there any clarification on this committee, how many firefighters you want in this committee, things like that? I have a meeting, we have a Canaan Range meeting tomorrow. I'm gonna meet, the Minden Fire representative is gonna be there tomorrow, so I'm gonna ask him about it and when you wanted to start these meetings.
Oh, when? I guess I hadn't even thought
Okay,
about
I just
that.
didn't know if you had any amount of firefighters in mind, Marcia, because I know you mentioned last meeting that you wanted to have the membership part of this, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Since you're making a motion to do it, I'd like to know how many
They
you'd like.
didn't make a motion.
Oh, they did not make a motion? Okay. Well, just let me know.
set it up. I'll get with you, Chip.
Am I on that committee? Okay.
I think that's the same one.
Well, it should be.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Hello, Peter.
We are on item F4A. So what we have is Moonlight Bay Restaurant has applied for a permit to the city for the installation of a lift system / a hill hiker. Other people might be more familiar with that term, which will connect the existing sidewalk trail system within County State Aid Highway 66 right-of-way. And then we'll look at the attached location here in a second. The intent of the lift system is used primarily by the guests for the commercial business of Moonlight Bay. This will provide access from a dock system and a lift up the slope and access to the sidewalk within County State Aid Highway 66 right-of-way. The City of Cross Lake Land Use Ordinance, Chapter 26, does allow the city to issue a standard permit for a lift system as proposed. However, due to the system's proximity and connectivity in association with CASA 66 right-of-way, additional liability consideration should be addressed prior to permit approval. Attached is the original trail agreement between the City of Cross Lake and Crow Wing County that outlines the city as the responsible party in relationship to the trail, and the perpetual maintenance to keep the trail safe for public use lies with the city. Also attached is an addendum to the original trail agreement that adds the portion of the lift system that will be placed within CASA 66 right-of-way, which the county requires the city to be responsible for all maintenance. And thirdly, also attached is an easement drafted by the city attorney transferring all liability for the lift system from the City of Cross Lake to the Moonlight Bay Restaurant. TJ, if I could get this thing, or if I just hit. Thank you. Thank you. So, for reference, the area we're looking at here, this is Daggett Pine Road here, and there's the crosswalk for the sidewalk going out to the community center. And Moonlight Bay would be up here. The spot they're looking at, the proposed lift install location, is approximately right at the end of the sidewalk here, of the finished sidewalk. So in conversation with the property owner and project proposal, the preference with this spot here would be to be away from the crosswalk, so it's not associated with any public infrastructure, and then also that it is not within the main campus of the Moonlight Bay Restaurant so that it's off to its side. The plan being to have boats come up, land on a dock, and bring up handicap accessibility to the sidewalk and continue to the restaurant. And essentially, the easement agreements that we have, the county attorney, or the county engineer is here if he needs to speak on any of this, and then also the project proposer and property owner, Moonlight Bay, as well, if they want to reiterate any points here. But essentially, there's an agreement. The county owns the right-of-way. The city has permission to be in it. In order to allow the connectivity of Moonlight Bay's proposed tram, we need to get their approval as well as transferring the liability to the Moonlight Bay Restaurant. So if any of the council has any questions, please ask.
Actually,
Go ahead.
is there parking allowed along that way? Because people are going to want to bring their items down to their boat and back up. So is there legal parking in there so they can have a place to put a vehicle?
There appears to be parking there, whether or not legal or not, I could ask Tim.
Okay.
So,
Secondly, with those machines, there has to be state certification with them. It has to be maintained. It doesn't have to be, it should be maintained. If the city has any involvement with it, are we going to have that written into the contract?
No, we're going to be harmless. We're going to be, right? We're going to be held harmless of anything.
No, it doesn't matter that when they decide to sue or something goes wrong, the city gets involved whether they like it or not.
Brad, are we going to be liable?
We're okay.
They still want it written into the contract, Brad.
We don't talk about what people on private property do with their equipment.
Yeah. If we're certifying it, I think we should have a right.
We're not certifying.
We're not certifying it.
Okay, then I'll stop.
Doing as little as we have to do.
Then I'll stop there. But I think it should be written in as a protection for the city.
Richard, can I ask you one of my questions? Why are you putting it all the way down there?
Basically, so it doesn't become an amusement ride at the restaurant, and that was, aside from right in front of where we are, it's, the shoreline from there down wasn't conducive to it until you get to that point.
I mean,
That's why that guardrail is along the.
Are you going to be able to monitor it, or how?
Yeah, it has a.
Code or something? Are you
Yes.
going to give it to us or
Yes.
something? So.
The-
It just seems kind of way out of the way.
It is, but it's the only, we've been asked about it for years from, certain customers and.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
It's something that we've wanted to do for a while and trying to.
Yeah.
But for first responders, I think that would be inappropriate if they could use it for an emergency. I'm not saying personal.
Yeah.
Strictly emergency.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim, everything good with you?
Signed by the county already.
I make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second it.
All right, John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Zeber Bowles,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Bray, also for the cooperation with the city of Cross Lake, with you and Rob Hall. I appreciate that. And the next item, F4B. Okay, this is just for an update to the city council here. This is not a request for any action. The update is on short-term rental regulation, STRs. Attached is the latest information on short-term rental regulation. The city administrator and I attended the Crow Wing County's Committee of the Whole meeting on November 15th regarding the STR regulation and what direction the county is going to pursue. Attached is a letter for Crow Wing County for your review. If you have any questions about it, you can certainly contact me at the office during the day. In summary, please note on paragraph 5, it appears the current direction of the county board will be to repeal the public health ordinance. This will effectively end the county's regulation of short-term rentals in Cross Lake. This will also create the following options: regulating short-term rentals, not regulating them all, or an option to contract with the county to administer the county's regulatory requirements within Cross Lake. So if you hear things from your constituents, that's what's going on with this, is they're repealing the public health code ordinance. So they're not repealing the whole thing, they're just repealing that portion that pertains to short-term rentals. And the reason why it was put into the public health ordinance is because at the time the county wanted to more comprehensively work that. It's kind of the difference between zoning between the different various towns and cities and the townships. So it's actually in two places in their ordinance. It's in their land use ordinance as well as their public health ordinance. So if you see notice of the paper, that's what's going on with that. So that's
Peter?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the contract with the county. Have they leaked any information as far as how much that's going to be?
I have not. They haven't really mentioned on what that would be, you know, so that'll be kind of the next step is once they get this going to see what type of, you know, what that service would cost.
All right.
So, and I'll keep you posted on that as soon as we have a number for that, so.
Is the county doing this just for Cross Lake, or are they doing it countywide?
Great question. They're doing it countywide, and
They don't sound like they're giving us the option. They're dropping the service.
it's, right, that's pretty much the takeaway from this, yep. In allowance to let the city choose to do what they want to do, but yes, you are correct, it will completely, like, when somebody calls, is STRs, are they regulated in Cross Lake? The answer would be, they currently are not, and they also are not at the county level.
So the county, Tim, do you know anything about that? Is the county is not gonna license short-term rentals now next year, countywide, the best of your knowledge?
To myself?
Yeah.
You know, if,
Or do I need to
yeah,
read this?
they're actively looking at repealing it for sure, that in, I think it's in like late February or so is looking at when they're wanting to do this. So, yeah, it's definitely got forward momentum on it. You know, it had followed a kind of, I think, a political process where it went back and forth with a couple different votes. Obviously a contentious item, you know, to our residents and visitors as well, so, yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder how Ideal and the other townships are gonna handle it.
And that's exactly, see, now in the townships, you got a little different zoning because they'll be falling under the county's zoning ordinance, which statutorily we would not because we're a city, so that they're still gonna, that's why they're not pulling it out of their zoning ordinance, so the townships will still have it, the ones that do that, so. And then now I believe some of the other cities, I want to say Breezy Point is regulating it through them, and I'll probably have some further discussions with them on the costs associated with that, so.
So they're regulating, but they're not issuing licenses.
They're
They're regulating as of February 1st, but they're not going to issue licenses any longer.
within Cross Lake, correct.
Just within Cross Lake, but all the rest of the county, they're going to.
Within all of the incorporated cities, it's gonna be removed. So like City of Breezy Point is not gonna have, their resident would not go through Crow Wing County to get VRBO license.
So it's up to Breezy Point.
Yeah.
Trim that, yeah. Well, we better look at that.
But
a
they'll
little
do it
closer.
if we ask them to do it
I
administratively.
think there's an opportunity there to have that discussion on the, what they cost, what they charge for, you know, to come in and
Yeah, but-
work with us.
Yeah, in the letter here, it says that the owner of the rental will be paying the fee to cover the costs.
Yeah, that's, I think typically a lot of areas try to design it as such, have like an annual licensing fee for the inspections and everything. Yeah, I think they had their hands full with managing that countywide, which as we all know, how popular the VRBOs have gotten, especially in a community like Cross Lake. It's at a premium, really.
So the county doesn't want to do it anymore, but they will do it for a price,
You know,
right?
right.
All right.
All right. So, and again, if you guys have any questions on this as this moves forward, feel free to give me a call at the office. Next item is a little bit of housekeeping, planning and zoning fee schedule, item F4C. And this ordinance requires city approval for the fee schedule. And this is a housekeeping item we'd like to look at and review each year. Before I go to the Planning Commission and talk to them about that, I would just like to get a little bit of consensus or direction if that's something this council would be interested in having me pursue, to have that conversation with the Planning Commission, so I don't do that and then go through that process and, get your guys' green light prior to that, so.
What changed on the fee schedule?
Fee schedule has not changed in a decade, it looks like, on my research on
Nothing
this.
changed here?
Nothing is, yep. So,
I move to approve the planning and zoning fee schedule for 2023.
or what I'd be looking for is just a direction, like if you guys want me to go to the Planning Commission to ask them if we should change the fee schedule at all as well.
Well, you haven't gone there, have you?
No, have not. Yep, I want to get the,
Then I'll withdraw the motion.
Yeah. Make a motion for him to bring it to the planning and zoning.
Yeah. I'll second that.
Is that what you're looking for, Peter?
that is correct, yes, thank you.
Okay. Motion to bring it to the commission.
All right. John Andrews,
Yes.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin,
Yes.
Dave Schrupp. Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Mayor, thank you, council.
Thank
And
you,
also-
Peter.
Peter?
You bet. You guys have a good evening.
Patrick, you're coming up front, huh? All right.
He wants to make sure I don't think he's done.
All right, the first thing is F5A. We'd like to have some, our equipment declared surplus. And us permission so we can sell it as is. And you got a list of 9 things, but I've added a few more on top of that. One is that we have them 2 tanks.
You're just cleaning out the sheds?
Cleaning out stuff, but the 2 tanks were the ones they used for temporary equalization down there. One's a 21,000 gallon tank, the other one's a 25,000 gallon tank. They used them for just a couple weeks or something. They put it in that back area of the plant.
Nothing that we could ever use in the future.
Absolutely not. And it's gonna be whoever buys them tanks, it's their responsibility to get them off the property, because they're big.
Yeah.
Then we have, there's some miscellaneous pipes, pipe fittings and stuff that was extra stuff bought.
Get rid of it.
There you go. And we had some plow mounts from a truck that the city no longer owns.
Yeah.
So we can get a couple $100 for that stuff. And just basically,
I make a motion, you use your best judgment and clean out the sheds as much as you can.
sounds like a winner to me.
I'll second it.
I second it.
All right, the other one is the,
Wait a minute, she's got to take a,
oh, sorry.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yep.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
John Andrews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the next one is at F5B about the windows for the administration and planning, ordering the new windows. Need a motion, they're $4,000 apiece.
I make a motion, we table this till the new council takes over. Let them take a look at that.
I'll second it.
Aaron Herzog.
Yes.
Dave Nevin.
Yep.
Dave Schrupp.
Yes.
John Andrews.
Yes.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Bill, the next one's yours.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I have given you on 2 different occasions an update on the CSAH 66 project with where it sits project timing-wise, extra claims for delay, and extra claims for cost. We've met with the contractor to discuss their claims. And that included city staff. And from that, we've prepared a draft memo to reply to them on what the city's position is, but need your consent, I guess, to apply in that manner. So I did, after giving this to, I think this was handed out at your budget meeting on November 28th, was handed out because we wanted to keep the information contained. And then after receiving comments from Councilmember Schrupp as to his questions, I updated the memo to reflect more detail on the basis for the change orders that we think are legitimate. And also then, after a comment from the mayor, I added in the information about substantial completion and the liquidated damage that goes with with final completion. So I don't know if you've had a chance to review any of this information, but essentially I'm looking for direction. Either you support this. The recommendation from the Public Works Committee after reviewing this was essentially to find one more day, grant 1 day of the 7 days they claim for traffic delay, so that it got to the 21 days, which would be their substantial completion point.
So you don't have a worksheet with numbers at the end of it where we're at?
I do have a worksheet with numbers. I've given that to Mike, and it's assuming you proceed with this, I do have a worksheet with all the
Because you've
costs.
got days here and that, and, you know, there's no way I could figure that out with this document, right?
Figure out what?
What the number is.
For, what number are you looking for? Like
They're
the total
listed in
project cost?
Yeah. So I believe it's $1,100 a day after substantial completion, and that was September 16th?
So $1,190 for each day after final completion.
October.
After October 15th. And they have asked for, we've identified 6 days that they did work that would apply towards after final completion. So that would make October 15th plus 6. October 21. The
And we
last
don't-
the last day they did any work in town
But
was
they
about
gotta
the
be
22nd.
back in the spring, and now
Yes,
they've got a break because
Right.
of weather.
There's
but-
nothing that they can do. They have to come back because they haven't completed the punch list.
But as of May 3rd or whatever that date is, then they can get back here, and if they don't come back till July 4th,
That continues to count.
so we don't know what the bottom line is.
Correct.
And we won't.
Right.
Okay, Phil, I got one other little question. At Simonson Yard, they put in that holding pond and they put in the rock wall.
Right.
We had a rain event. The water missed the rock wall they put in.
The
Right.
water, well, they armored the slope
Right.
coming off of Simonson's.
And the water came
And the
30
water
feet
came-
north of the,
Partially there and also through the storm sewer system.
so is that up to them to take a transit and figure out where the low point is and slope that, or, I mean, how did that happen?
It happened because all that rain came and they hadn't stabilized
know,
this,
but-
they stabilized the pond or put the filter blanket down. So they had a site that was highly erosive.
It looks like they kind of missed the target a little bit, but whatever. It looked
Well,
like.
that is a claim that they're requesting that we're recommending the city reject because they didn't complete the work.
Yeah.
We believe if they had stabilized that site with blanket and put the bio rolls down and such that we asked for, that they wouldn't have had that type of erosion.
Because I think it was about a 2.5-inch rain that took that out.
I've heard various things. Yeah.
Which is
That was
not
a heavy,
that
I
unusual.
think it was a high-intensity rain, short period of time.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, and it happens.
It does.
So what are you asking for us? Just to approve this?
So by our view, they're 1 day short. Their substantial completion occurred 21 days after the contract date from when they started. By looking at everything they have and also having the meeting that you sat in on, we came up with 20 days, 1 day short. And we didn't apply any of the 7 days that they claimed for traffic delays. I guess we're at the point of, is the city willing to give them 1 day out of those 7 they've requested? Then it becomes a wash on the substantial completion. There's no liquidated damage on the wash. Your other option is to
But I kind of lose you right there. I mean, the first part of what I hear you say is there's 20 days that we can charge them $2,100 a day for.
They got to substantial completion 21 days after the original contract.
Okay, so we're entitled
But
to.
the original contract then also has to be adjusted for any valid claims that they have, whether weather dependent, additional work, things like that. We come up with 20 days out of probably the 40 plus they requested. We think they have good claim, good position to 20 days.
So we're able to charge them for 20 days? No, that's what you're saying the wash is.
There's one left. 20 are good, changing their date by 20 additional days for getting the contract done, in our estimation. That leaves them 1 day short of the substantial completion.
The commission
And they're-
says give them one.
And they're saying, and we haven't accounted for the 7 days that they're claiming that they were slowed down through traffic repeatedly going through there and others trespassing on the job site.
So there basically isn't going to be any charge for delay in getting the project done?
Not for the liquidated damages attributed to substantial completion. That's correct. Now, you can
That's
disregard
really hard
you
to
can
swallow.
disregard everything we say, and you can go after them.
It's really hard to swallow when they had many days there without a crew working and they were dragging around and now they're. That's hard to swallow.
They also took on a substantial amount of additional work.
Yeah, that's.
And they've shown
got nothing to do with us. Oh, you mean on our project, substantial?
Right.
Extra work.
Yeah, they took on double the amount of curb and gutter.
Yeah, late in the game.
Yep. And they've shown on this that they have the days to get there. It's a calculated risk on your part if you want to pursue legal action
I'm
to get
okay
those
with it.
dates, but I think you're trying to swim.
Barking up a tall tree, huh?
You have the information in front of you. You can
Yeah.
make
Well, you
your
guys go
judgments.
ahead.
Wash it and move on.
Yeah. How much of all of this was additional that we charged back to the county for the curb?
Well, I know the county's cost on the county alone column went up by $95,000.
I'll make a motion, we go with your recommendation and the recommendation of the Public Works Commission.
I second it.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Marcia Zebert Bowles,
Yes.
Aaron Herzog,
Yes.
Dave Nevin,
I think just to be outstanding, I'm going to go no.
Said no.
no? Okay. Dave Schrupp,
Yes.
John Andrews.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Phil. All right, we're back to public forum. Action may or may not be taken on any issue raised. Council requires more information or time for consideration. The issue will be placed on the agenda of the next meeting. Speaker must state their name. Welcome, Bob.
You can keep going.
Well, you need to know, you got to speak the name and address.
Bob Perkins, 35333.
And you only get 3 minutes.
County Road 37. Do I get the interruption as well? Do I get that time back?
You got it, you got
All right.
credit.
Actually, I just want to thank Dave Schrupp and John Andrews for all the support, all the committees that work with them on many things. Water quality, sewer, Cross Lakers. We've had a lot of support. So thank you both. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
You're on the screen. In terms of supporting the Cross Lakers in the past, it's been tremendous. Can we ask that the city appoint someone as a liaison for the Cross Lakers to continue that support? And I'm expecting Dave and John to show up now that they have a lot of free time as well.
Bob, we can, but I think we'll do that at the January meeting.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to ask that. I mean, it's great if someone just shows up and participates, but I think there's a lot of value in it, and we're a partnership. You know, and the future of this town is really what happens in this room, what happens in our discussions. The comprehensive plan, it's sat stale for years, and I mean decades. So it's in place now, it's to be reviewed and looked at. So, you know, as just a continued partnership and looking towards the future, that's what I'm requesting.
Will definitely happen the first meeting.
All right, thank you.
You betcha, thank you.
Pat Netco. I too would like to thank Dave and John for serving the community of Cross Lake, and John really stepped up with the Cross Lakers and listened, I felt, and thank you, John, for that. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I do have an issue that I'd like to go back to. Aaron, if you would pull out your Safety Commission meeting minutes again, please. Sure. And could you please reread the recommendation from the gentleman who is on the Highway Department and his recommendation for the roundabout and the reasons?
I got to get to the form.
That's fine.
By Kurt is what you're referring to.
Yes, please.
Recommendation to City Council stating the Public Safety Committee.
I can't hear you, Aaron.
Thank you. Recommendation to the City Council stating the Public Safety Committee, it should be commission, supports the single-lane roundabout at the junction of County Road 3 and 66. I mean, that's...
No, I want you to read why about the safety part of it from him.
The reduction.
You had a whole list that you read to us.
I think it was more that we were coming through what they were talking about. The discussion is what I was talking about that occurred. Okay. The discussion was the reduction in the number of accidents with a roundabout versus traffic signal, other types of control, traffic control. It was the less severity of the injuries and so forth in it, and the fact that it's rare that there's ever a fatality connected to a roundabout. That was the discussion in it.
Okay, I didn't hear one thing about pedestrians in there.
That's
why I have an issue with the Safety Commission going forward and saying that they support the roundabout when I don't feel that we have all the information yet. I have asked Tim Bray to come forward with information on the four-way stop sign, for instance, because this first meeting that we just had a couple weeks ago was supposed to be an informational meeting and what the options are with all that. But it came across as we're getting a roundabout, and that's what people are upset about. So I'm not for or against a roundabout, and that has nothing to do with this discussion. It has to do with the fact that pedestrians is our #1 problem, and we need to look at this whole picture and the whole project as we've stated a couple times tonight. And I want you all to be aware of that and think about that.
Yeah, what they're talking about is all agreed to the county's proposal for a roundabout at the intersection, safest model for pedestrians and vehicles. Data shows this through all their.
I don't care what the data says right there. I do care what the data says. However, we have not been shown how pedestrian safety, that hasn't been shown. So for our Safety Commission to approve this without being shown that information, I think it's premature. That's all I'm saying.
And I believe the message just got submitted to the person that will do it for the next meeting.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to close public forum. City attorney, nothing? Any new business? Any old business?
I have old business. I don't remember which month it was when we passed a motion to add a lead wastewater operator to a job class in the union contract for Ask Me. Anyway, we did that based on the union requesting it, and then we found out that the union members voted against that. So I think we should rescind that motion to add the wastewater operator lead position, and we can take it up at the next union contract. But the union members voted 5-1 not to do it. So I don't know how that got brought forward to the city council when the membership didn't want it, and we all got that emails. So I think that motion's got to be rescinded, and then, because it's not in play, they're not going to approve the contract with that addition, so we might as well rescind that motion so it's not sitting in the minutes saying we did that.
I will
Okay.
second that.
So Mike, can you verify where are we with this whole thing? Is 5-1 a legitimate vote? And, I mean, I haven't heard any of that.
The request was made and the council approved it prior to it going back to the union. That's an issue on internal union issues. The council already approved it, and Sharon and I have been working on a draft job description along with Patrick to bring forth to the council.
But the union members voted it down.
It's within the city's inherent right as an employer to decide what those job classes are and who fills them.
Well, I think we should rescind that motion because they don't want it. And then it should be discussed at the next contract.
But the
They don't want it. They said that, and we all got emails to that effect.
And you also all got emails to the effect that they requested it and it was approved prior to that, after the fact decision by the union.
But who requested it? It didn't go to the union.
Union rep requested it.
The union rep.
Who's that,
Troy
Troy?
Bach, Troy Bach, and we brought it forth to the council. It was only after that time frame, if you look at the dates, that there apparently was an issue. I'm not sure why they had the issue. I'm not part of those union meetings. But our obligation right now is to award
Listen to
that.
the employees.
No, is to respect what you approved and what the union asked for. Now, the union hasn't come back and asked us to rescind that motion.
They didn't want it. That's what they said in the email. They voted 5-1, no. So I don't know what the problem is. Just rescind that motion and take it up at the next contract time.
I'd advise against that.
I don't think it's going to hurt anything at all. I think it's just going to make sure that we haven't.
I will second
add
that motion, Marcia. Yep.
When we're dealing with the union, and this is a question now, I'm not making a statement. When we're dealing with the union, we received a request from the union that we acted upon in good faith. Okay? We have not received a request from the union. Somebody needs to sit down and discuss.
But how much time has lapsed?
Give it another month.
How many times have I been told the contract's been signed and you can't do anything about it? You're done. You're done talking. I've heard that from the attorney.
It's been at least 6 months.
Yeah, I think we should
motion was
rescind that
approved on
motion
August
and
8th.
take it up at the next contract.
But if we do that and we're not responding properly to the union, are we now violating our contract with the union? It's a double-edged sword.
I don't think the union's responding properly to us.
The
If we did it-
the contract's been signed,
I'm
it's
not
done.
arguing that.
The contract's signed and done.
So the chain of events was the union, the business agent for the union requested that we brought forth to the council, which we did, and it was approved. Then we debated what to do with it, whether it was $2, $1.75, 0 or nothing. And we also had a very lengthy discussion, I recall at that time, about what is the value of having a licensed professional and recognizing them for that item. That was the debate. You can go back and look. The decision was made by this council to award that, and we've been looking at a job description with Patrick and trying to further define that. And it's the employer's inherent right to determine that, and that's what the council did. Now, the union subsequently had their meetings and said, hey, we don't like that. It was not a 100% vote, and some union members were not present at that vote. So, yeah, it's an issue, but as it stands today, this council approved those terms.
So if you remember, organizationally, we have, Patrick has a license to run the plant.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't want the lead, because we hired some.
Nate has one, and then the other two guys kind of can do certain things, but they can't have the overall responsibility. And I do recall that we talked about having Nate be the go-to guy, so he knows what's going on at all times in the plant, even if those other guys are reporting their actions to him. So we have one person in the plant that's supposed to know what's going on, not three running around and we don't know what three of them are doing, or Patrick knows what they're doing.
But
So there's one go-to person that's done a great job. That's why we did it.
I'm not saying he didn't do a great job, or isn't doing a great job. I'm saying the employees were very upset about this, and they said, you hired a public works director that had the Class B license. We don't need a lead. Our public works director is the lead. So I'm just telling you what the employees, you guys got those emails saying that too. I don't know what the problem is with just rescinding it. We're not paying Nate, are we, for a lead wastewater
The
operator?
union made that request.
What?
As the union made that request, or the
What?
employees individually.
I didn't understand what you said.
Did the union make the request you're supporting?
No, not officially, because they asked us to do it, but I don't know that the union had the right to do it without asking the membership. Don't they have to ask the membership?
That's a union issue, not our issue.
Exactly.
Stick with your motion, Marcia. Let's just see where it
I'm
goes.
sticking with it, and you seconded it, so I
Yep.
guess we got to vote, and I'm sure.
Go ahead, Shar.
Dave Nevin.
Yes.
Dave Schrupp.
No.
John Andrews.
No.
Marcia Ziebert Bowles.
Yes.
Aaron Herzog.
No.
Motion fails.
All right, is there anything else?
Are we going to assign balance for that truck he's getting for $97,000?
I got the stuff I gave you, the estimates, but that was it.
I can't hear.
All we have is the estimates for that truck. Char's got a copy of all that, and, like I said, the truck's ordered, but I'm sure the cost of the box and the plow and the sand are all gonna go up. Cause you couldn't order and have it set somewhere for 6 months or better.
So Patrick, one thing we could do is if you could revisit that before month end, so we could come back to the council with an appropriate amount to assign for that item.
Yeah, it'd be close enough now, we should lock in on everything.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Aaron, make your motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second it.
Better hurry, Shar. All right.